In Celeste, once you finish all seasides, you unlock variants, which are basically mods for the game without having to mod the game. For the most part, they don't change it much, or are just visual. However, the Super Dash variant caught my eye. With it, your dashes will be much longer and you can also turn in mid-air. I thought of some spots where it could be useful and some where I would struggle, so I tried to beat the main 9 chapters of the game with the variant to see how it went. Starting out in Forsaken City, I got incredibly relieved. The Super Dash wasn't hard to control and it made a lot of rooms way easier, allowing for some cool skips. This also made me seem faster, so I was hopeful at what the future levels had in stock for us. But don't worry, cause there will be major problems later on. Obviously, I found no problem with the first level, so let's go over Old Side. The Super Dash has 2 sides. One where I underestimate the distance it gives you and die, and the other where it is really helpful and makes a lot of rooms faster. Most of Old Side was the second option. I did realize that if you enter a dream loss while turning around with the dash, you'll keep that turn, which is weird but still worth mentioning. Apart from that, this level is a piece of cake. Celeste Resort also has its number of cool skips. Super Dash allows for some really interesting room solving. There were some rooms where I had to be careful though, and go back before I dashed. The last room before the Oshiro chase has this section, where I just hit the dust bunnies. To solve this, I just dashed upwards and held onto a wall before going down. That's it for Celeste Resort though. In Golden Ridge, I figure out something new, because as it turns out, bubbles are also affected by the Super Dash gimmick, which I used to do stuff like this. The skip in this level is now much easier too. To give me a little challenge, I decided to also skip this platform. At first glance, you cannot just do it with a wave dash and a normal dash, but if you super, you can grab onto the wall, go over the spikes, and then super dash to skip it. In the strong wind section, the super dash was really helpful and made things quicker. In the Mirror Temple, super dashes don't affect red bubbles. I mean, why would they? Also, I forgot to mention that this is... Okay, I really need to stop with the jump scares, it's getting way too predictable. I tried grabbing the key from down below, but there seemed to be too much height difference. Luckily, there are higher spots, and after some tries, I eventually got it. The skip in the dark section is also possible, and the rest of the level is straightforward too. In reflection, I did this epic Kevin skip at the beginning. In the battling boss fight, I thought that the nerve part was gonna give us some trouble, but you can just skip it with a single dash. And I'm being serious when I say that reflection has nothing else interesting. But don't worry just yet, cause this video has interesting stuff for real, you'll just have to wait a little bit. Summit is pretty underwhelming. In fact, we don't find anything worth mentioning up until 1500 meters, when there's this big section. I mention it because there are a few spots where you have to time it well, otherwise you're just gonna go straight into the dust bunnies. Just having this variant on, everything seems to become easier. The skip here is easier, this one too, heck, I can even get the key in the Mirror Temple section with this. However, we finally reach a hard room, and it has to do with the red bubbles. You see, you cannot just exit this one forwards because you'll hit the spinners. I tried using the bubble diagonally, but that wasn't helping me. The answer was just a good diagonal dash at the right moment. Okay, that might have not sounded so hard, just hold up a minute. Flag 11 is where the issue really happens. It doesn't matter what you try, it just seems that super dashes send you really far. The solution is indeed pretty obscure. For the first crystal, you just dash normally while going down a little bit, and when you're almost hitting the spinners, dash diagonally. This should get you past the first section without dying. For the next one, just dash before hitting the spinners. 2 flags after, we meet this, where you have to dash really quickly to avoid just going into the spinners at max speed. With that, however, Summit is out of the way. Let's go over Core and Farewell next. Core, to no one's surprise, has nothing interesting. I guess I did skip a huge chunk of the level here, but really there's nothing else. We are here for Farewell, of course. Let's see how that went. I'll only mention rooms where I feel like they are considerably different from the main game, by the way. In the pufferfish juggling room, you basically cannot use Superdashes to get to the next one. So instead, do a horizontal one and make sure you bounce on the pufferfish so it slows you down a little bit. In the electrical room, I do admit I resorted to pause buffering. You see, this is all really cramped, so any Superdash will get you killed. Unless you chain a bunch of them. Yeah, it is really precise, but by chaining them and using the right angles, you can actually cross the entire section. When we get to the jellyfish, I decided to go through the hard part, and I think it's like the second time I have ever been here, cause I do not remember any of this. I don't actually need wave dashes here though, which is pretty funny. To be honest, there's no weird behavior with the jellyfish, so every single room with them is about the same. This means all keys are easy to get. The spring room was different. I pretty much just skipped all of it. The other spring room was different too, this time for worse. You see, the timings aren't perfect with our dashes, unlike normal, so we have to time everything right. Plus, the platform just moves too quickly. I was stuck on what to do in the end. Turns out that I was trying to get over the spinners with 2 dashes when I just needed a single one. The next room was also tricky cause I had to be low and I had to be quick for this dash to work. With that said, we now get onto wave dashes, which behave the same way. And this checkpoint has nothing. Hooray! The next one has a few rooms though. There's this one where we have to make use of our turn in order to avoid spinners, and use this moon block to regain our dash and dash diagonally down. But yeah, that's it. We now go into the cassette block section. Here, our method of stalling was just dashing. Yeah, that works. In the next one, I spent a little bit of time, but it's just because I didn't have the right strategy in mind. Hold up, we're almost at the end already? Geez, I thought that this was gonna be harder. I sure hope there's no room ahead that screws me over. In the blink of an eye, we get to the very last room. And of course, I couldn't have this easy. Nope, there was no other way. Okay, so all the jellyfish part is the same, so the problems don't start coming up until this section, where things are really narrow. I can't chain dashes, and this is way too small of a place to be able to do anything. Yes, after that heck of a challenge, the very last room is what is stopping me. So I had to do some research, and came across a farewell task with Superdash activated. And if you just take a look at it, you might understand why I'm not able to explain this. You know, I may not be able to recreate it, but at least we know that yes, the 9 A sides of the game are indeed possible with the Superdash variant on. This video was a bit underwhelming, I understand, but CapCut decided to delete my other video when it was almost entirely edited. And it was one of the longest videos in my channel. I haven't had the time since, so I had to do a smaller video this week. I hope you enjoyed it anyways. Thanks for watching.